This is Apocalypse plus 25% more difficulty, which is a mod I will link down in the description. Look at all I can do here. I just barely need to reload. As you may know, the prime perk from Gunslinger lets you reload all your guns when you use a skill. So we're getting a lot of quick draw uptime, so we can continuously reload our guns. The key to achieving this uptime is the new short circuit amulet from the new DLC that lets you regen skills as long as you have shields. And our secondary archetype is the new archetype warden that lets you regen shields that don't go away on their own. They persist and keep regenerating on you as long as you're using the shield drone, right? Alongside this, we're using the insulator mutator, which is the longer you shoot, just shooting normally, you get shields back. Between the shield from the drone and the shields from insulator, we have a very high uptime. Then we can use the Sapphire Dreamstone and Black Pound Stamp or whatever other skill ones you want. I am partial to Dreamstone just because it's a crit build and also quick draw always crits. It doesn't say it here in regards to the big shot, but it does it. And when you funfire, it also crits all the time. So with that, corrosive rounds and this Prism I'm using here, which is critical situation, which grants me 35% all critical chance, and alongside this I have 50% critical chance base just from here, from fragments and the Prism. So we're keeping that uptime on the Dreamstone there. So in theory, if you go to shooting range, you won't get 100% uptime, but in practice, because you're dodging, because you're engaging in mechanics, that there's times you can get behind cover, etc., you don't really need a lot more uptime than this. You can see it in the background footage. I am taking cover, I am dodging, I am moving around, which is why I recommend making builds with actual fights in mind, not just the shooting range, the dummies. Don't get me wrong, numbers are important and you gotta have those numbers, but you gotta measure them in the actual fight, so to speak, instead of focusing on just dummies. This is the advantage of this kind of weapons. They're weapons that have burst damage and smaller magazines. They're types of weapons in all video games, really, that do not show their power just by their DPS, their damage per second. This is especially noticeable if we're roaming, if we're traversing the world, because enemies with smaller HP pools compared to bosses just evaporate with this build. Another very interesting aspect of this Space Cowboy build is that you have shields, and shields do make you more survivable. You have double your HP while keeping a light dodge, which is awesome, and having more HP is important for boss rush. Survivability is now key in our endgame. The meta in boss rush has shifted into something that is a bit more balanced between DPS and tanking, right? Besides running the Western Classic and the Coach Gun, you do really feel like a space cowboy, and I love the fantasy of this build. I'm even running the Spectral Blade with a Shielded Strike to get myself some shields if I use the spinning attack. Which also kinda helps the fantasy of the space part of it, right? That and the shields. What's most important to me is that it's a fun build that has a high skill ceiling to master those rotations, those transitions, and how to manage the cooldowns, the dodging. I am very partial to fun and skillful builds instead of just your average broken build that just blasts through everything and is just not very fun in the end. It is fun to find them though. That is fun. Anyway, I leave you all with one of my videos, and if you like this video, you know what to do.